Hello, party people, and welcome back to Ethereal Healing Arts. I really like this candle tradition, so let's light the candle without burning any eyelashes off. And may the right people find this video, the people who know what I'm talking about, the people who can relate, and the people who resonate. Let's also light some more Palo Santo. Beautiful. So I want to start off with a story time that I felt called to talk about for some reason. I haven't thought about this in a long time, but yesterday I thought about my experience when I was living in British Columbia for a while. So I was living in British Columbia for a while, and of course, let the trolls be repelled at all times. So I was living in BC for a while, and it was in the north. So we were close to the Yukon. In Canada, the Yukon is very cold. It's like the north. If you think of Canadians as the northern people, then yeah, you don't really know the Northwest Territories and the Yukon. It's cold up there. I do want to go up there sometime, but anyway, that's another idea. But anyway, so I was living in northern BC, which is cold. It's cooler weather. And some people call themselves the northern people. I remember walking into work one day and seeing my coworker, and this was in March, seeing my coworker wearing Birkenstocks. And it was cold outside. I think it was 0 degrees. And I looked at her feet and I looked at her and I just said, "Oh my God, you're wearing Birkenstocks. How are you doing this right now?" And her toes were purple. Her toes were purple. She looks at me and she's like, "Oh yeah, up here, I'm one of the northern people. This is how we are up here. I'm a northern woman." And I looked at her toes. Her purple toes, like that purple. And I thought to myself, but your toes are literally getting frostbite right now though. Your toes ain't too happy that you're a northern woman. And I kind of left it at that. I didn't think about it after that, but I thought about it yesterday, and I thought about how we as humans love to label ourselves. We do. So she was a northern woman. Other people are gay. Other people are flexible. Other people are women and men. Other people are butterflies. It doesn't matter. We love to put labels on ourselves in order to make sense of this chaotic universe. This universe doesn't make any sense. It never will. That's just how it is. You got to deal with it. But of course, we've all been there where we try to label ourselves and set rules for ourselves. And maybe because you're here watching this video, you've experienced how labels can actually put a box on our self and our soul in a way that's more like a cage. If your rules and regulations for how you should live your life start to feel like a cage that are suppressing you, then it's time to reevaluate what exactly you're doing and why you have so many rules and regulations. I also have another example popping into my head. Today, during my school, I had a client come in for massage therapy who was very flexible. And she kept saying, "I'm flexible, don't worry, you can do whatever you want to me, you can bend me, whatever, I'm flexible." And it actually was a cage that inhibited her from learning anything new or trying things, because every time that we tried new things on her and new postures, new movements, she would say, "Oh, I don't feel it at all." Until at one point we said to her, "Okay, then if you don't feel it at all, then why are we doing these? Like, we can just stop. Let's move on to the next thing." But I could see in her that she was like, no, let's do it. Actually, I do feel it. So let's keep doing it. And that was an interesting turning point because, again, it shows how sometimes when we label ourselves, it can really inhibit us from growing and experiencing things in our lives. And that kind of makes me think of another thing in this big brainstorm of a video where If the goal in life is to have experiences, then we can't have boxes put around ourselves. And it's not like anyone else is putting these boxes on us, it's us putting these boxes on us. And after a while of us putting boxes on ourselves, people start to engage with that label and they start to believe in that too. And so it's a resonant kind of like, it's a mirroring effect, because you have a certain belief about yourself and carry a certain belief system and certain stories. And oftentimes you'll repeat these stories all the time. You'll talk about your past. You'll talk about the labels you have for yourself. I am a woman. I am a student. I am a Canadian. I am all these things. And people start to listen, of course. They'll say, oh, she's a woman. She's Canadian. She's blah, blah, blah. She has these stories. And therefore, I will put her in the same box that she's put herself. And that's why it's so difficult for us to move on and change our lives into new dimensions, because a lot of people will carry these old stories about ourselves forever and ever. Even after you're long gone and past, they will still think about you in the exact same way and in the same storyline that you had for yourself when you were in a relationship with them, whether it's friendship, romantic, acquaintance, employee, colleague, anything. And that's what's so fascinating about labels. If you choose to not identify with any sort of label and you just be and live in your essence, whatever that may be, you will become such a contradiction that nobody will be able to put a label on you. And it kind of ties into the idea of, do you want your presence to be expected or respected? Because if your presence is just expected anywhere, like you're following the crowd, you're just doing things, you fit into the box that you've put into yourself, you're very easy to predict, then your presence isn't as respected. You're not something novel or novel, whatever that word is. You're not something new. You're not something original. And in my experience, the hard truth is that if you're not original, you're not as respected and you're just one of the others. And you're not as interesting. But the magic about this is that it's not tragic at all. It's not a sad truth. It just helps us and points us in the right direction of becoming our true selves, because everyone's true self is unique and magical. Everyone is a leader within themselves. I truly believe that. Everyone is a leader within themselves. You are a leader. As you continue coming into your power and growing and expanding and becoming your true self down to that core, you will become more of a leader. You will become that lion, the leader of the pack. Once people start to see that you are confidently embodying your new self, whether that be wearing your hair in a freaking one of those mohawks or an afro, or wearing 10-inch stilettos, or wearing a meat costume like Lady Gaga, people will look at that and be like, oh my God, wait a sec, wait. That's weird. But why is that person so confident? Maybe I'll copy that. And then the next day, they're gonna show up with a little piece of bacon sewn into their suit. You know? It's fascinating to see. And so to tie this all together, all of these floating ideas together, they're not really floating, they're all really interconnected. What I want to say here is that as you begin and continue to find yourself and simply just be without labeling yourself in any which way, you just be yourself confidently, and you're confidently lost, like Sabrina Claudio says in her song. When you're just confidently lost, being yourself, being contradictions, proving people wrong, not on purpose, but simply because you are living your life experience and trying to gain life experience instead of trying to reach a certain end goal by stuffing yourself in a tight box, that's when magic happens. And I feel like if you're watching this video right now, you already know what I'm talking about because this magic is already happening for you. I truly feel like in this collective, we have a group of leaders who just don't care anymore. You don't care anymore. It doesn't matter what other people think. I can really sense that for you. You're just doing your own thing and finding your own way, finding your own tribe. If you feel like you haven't found your tribe in physical people yet, just know that on this channel right now, the subscribers on here and the watchers and the beautiful commenters we have on here are your tribe. You are finding them. You're finding us. We are all in it together. And thank you so much for watching today. May my light and my knowledge spread to you. May you light your candle on my flame. And thank you. I love you again, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.